Whenever prototype Apple devices finish whatever testing they were designed to do, they are destroyed. This destruction can take many forms, however primarily consists of obliterating, which means removing all the software from a device, smashing, shredding, and occasionally tasing, which basically means sending a bunch of voltage through a device. Regardless of the destruction that takes place, devices that incur this destruction are often deemed useless, and that's exactly what Apple intends to do with them. However, today, we're going to be looking at an original Apple Watch model that did incur this destruction, however amazingly still works, for the most part. Welcome to another Apple demo video, and without further ado, let's get straight into it. As you've already probably been able to see, or even guess, just guess, this Apple Watch might have a few things wrong with it. The frame is clearly very bent, the side power button is completely smashed in, and the battery ribbon cable from this logic board has been ripped off. If I had to only guess what happened to this Apple Watch, it was probably smashed with something, probably a hammer, and then the internals were ripped out of it. But even after incurring all this damage, it still powers on. But you may be wondering, how do I even know that this Apple Watch is prototype, and how did I know to buy it? Well, with Apple Watch prototypes in particular, there's a very small detail where if you see it, you probably know that the device is at least special in some kind of way. And here it is. Don't see it? Don't worry, I'll point it out for you. All Apple Watch Series 1 to Series 3 models have a barcode on them. However, the thing that's immediately noticeable is that there's actually text above this barcode on prototypes. There are some very rare exceptions to this rule, but if you're ever browsing eBay or something and see this, you probably know that there's a good chance that the Apple Watch that you're looking at may actually be prototype. But without further ado, let's get a screen on this thing and actually power it on. A little useless tip to know is that on Apple Watch original models and Series 1s, the screens are actually interchangeable for the 38mm and 42mm watches, which, practically it's kind of useless, but if you're just trying to test a watch to see if it works, you can just do that instead of having to buy a 38 and 42mm screen. Now, by using the magic of an Apple Watch Restore tool, because the Apple Watch's magnetic back is completely missing on this watch, we can plug it in and holy fucking shit, it actually works. That's what I thought when plugging it in for the first time, by the way. So the Apple Watch itself is of the PVT stage, which is one of the latest stages of prototyping that there is. But the fact that this Apple Watch that practically looks identical to production was still absolutely obliterated just goes to show the lengths that Apple will go to dispose of all developmental hardware. Just for fun, I enabled Verbose on this Apple Watch. Because prototype devices have developmental software, it's actually possible to modify quote-unquote stock developmental iBoot without making any major modifications. That's why you can see all this information, such as the Darwin kernel version, when booting up the watch. Now, as I always do, here's a no commentary demonstration of this prototype Apple Watch in action. I think it's amazing that an Apple Watch can incur so much damage, yet still function as if nothing happened. I will actually be sending this watch off for repairs to repair at least some of the damage, such as the magnetic charging coil being missing and the battery cable being missing, but it's really amazing how much these devices can incur and still work. Some prototype collectors might try to shy away from a device like this because of how much damage it has, but honestly, I think it just adds to the history of the device. Considering that I actually purchased this Apple Watch in a parts lot, I will gladfully add this Apple Watch to my collection, and despite the damage, still treat it with as much care as I treat other prototypes with. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and even consider subscribing because that really helps motivate me to create more content just like this. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day and have a good one.